Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for the brand new video and have a look at the surroundings, people. We are once again back in the old car vlog of the 2023-24 season. As cars already go by, there's a human being directly to my left that is staring at me. Yes, I'm talking to myself in the car. I'll see you on Facebook with the post, crazy man speaking to himself in a car. Look forward to those shares. But obviously we're here. It isn't a game at Ibrox. I'm not actually at the game today, so I thought instead of me rushing home to try and film it and everything like that for you guys in the regular setup, because so many people enjoyed the last instant reaction video we'd done for the Champions League, I thought me and thee would sit once again in the car and discuss the game of football. So again, apologies if you do hate them. It's just because it's pre-season. It's just a wee bit I don't know, pre-season jitters even for myself, just adjusting back into the life. If you hate them, let me know in the comment section below and I'll make sure to never do them again. Or if you enjoy them, maybe we can start doing these things a bit more regular, as we're outside Alloa today, people, as it's obviously an away game. So shout out to everyone in Alloa. Yes, I'm here, so we're keeping the car running, you know, just in case, You just never know, do you, people? But we're obviously here to talk about Rangers 2, Hoff 2. That's just what I like to call them because I'm a Star Wars nerd and I've never really grew up, people. And it's an interesting game of football because it is our last pre-season game. If people have paid attention to this channel over the years, I hate pre-season. Like, it's obviously good that the football's back and we love to talk about it and we love seeing Rangers be back playing games, but in terms of the actual games itself, I hate them, people. I wish I could be like Adam Sandler and click and just sit it in times 2 and skip all the way through it just to get to maybe the goals or the major talking points. And I don't know, this pre-season's been probably one of the toughest, even though I don't really rate the pre-seasons at all, and it's just been a bit painful to watch. And I think a lot of that is done because of what we've done in the summer, bringing in so many new players, obviously the new tweaks in the tactics we're trying to do. I think there is a lot of examples of maybe why it's been as flat as that, and if we're honest, I think the players just haven't been that great so far in the pre-season. But a lot of work has been done behind the scenes with the load management. We've heard a lot of terms, double training sessions, double this, double that. So again, they've been putting in the graph of just been getting through it. It's about getting minutes and no one getting further injured. And I'm pretty sure, despite Balogun obviously taking one in the face, we've managed to come away from this pre-season without any fresh injuries. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rangers Football Club. I'm CJ Novo. I'm me, you're thee. That means there is obviously some injuries, slight concerns we need to talk about, and that's obviously where we are, kind of leading us perfectly in to the game recap, because we found out today, going into the game, that it was last man standing regard in the centre halves. It's the 4th pre-season game. We're a week away for Kilmarnock. We're already hearing terms like last man standing. Can't handle it. I'm in a car. I can't do this. People will think I'm having a moment. But aye, it's been interesting as Balogun and the young man, Mr. Echoes, we like to call him here on the channel, did start the game. And I've seen a lot said now about Yefko, and everyone saying, oh, he's never good enough. It's very reminiscent of what happened with Leon King, if I'm honest with you. People were interested in seeing me cameos here, or they saying, oh, he looks good, he looks this, looks that, I want to see him start. And then if it doesn't go absolutely perfectly, people want rid of him, think he's a duffer, and I've been slaughtering him online. And it's just the kind of way it goes, especially if you're a young player. And again, on paper, did it go well for him today? No. Did he play great today? No. In fact, I think he played pretty poorly. But again, he is a young laddie. There's a lot of peaks and valleys when you're breaking in to the game. The only thing I would say for everyone slaughtering him, saying he's no good enough and saying this and turning a full 360 on the laddie, or is it 180? I don't know. We'll continue to rock and roll, as he is a 20-year-old laddie making his first start, people. So let's put a wee bit of that in there as well. And again, he's only playing right now because the 5 other centre backs are all injured or unavailable. And as the sun does come in, and it's starting to feel a bit like a Tarantino movie where a wee bit of the camera flares and everything are starting to happen. Where is the centre backs? What's going on? Just to give you an update on it, it's nothing too serious. Obviously we know Goldson's back amongst training. He's just obviously had a serious injury. Leon King is back on Monday, and where Suter and Davies and all that was today, it was because they picked up a bug. That is why they didn't travel with the squad. That's why Sakala is in there. Scott Wright's in a slightly different position, as he's obviously finalising his move to Turkey, and that should be over the next couple of days, and that's getting some moolah into the football club. That's where he is, what he's talking. But the rest of them, the Sakala stuff's all been clickbait nonsense or anything like that. Again, he might be moved on this summer, but that's not why he's been left home. It's because he's sick, is the same as John Suter and Big Ben Davies. So there's the updates regarding those people. And Aye. Again, we're not going to go through a minute per minute breakdown, but there is a couple of things I do want to talk about regarding the game of football, because to me, there was some concerns as well. Again, everything I'm saying is under the umbrella of it's just pre-season, and I do understand the management and the load management, the minutes, blah blah. I get all that, but I just thought we have got a real maybe question mark regarding our shape so far this season, as I think, and I don't know if you will agree with me down in the comment section below, but we're far, far too narrow with our press, and it's simple one switch, one switch. I mean, one switch of the ball has this entire Rangers defence looking like me on a football park, people. Clueless. They're genuinely no idea. That's all. It's beating us every single time, and that's a worry as a Rangers fan. Again, no at pre-season game 1 or 2 or even 3, but 4, the last dress rehearsal before the season starts. I just wanted to see us at a wee bit different and a bit sharper frequency. If I'm honest with you, I don't know if people agree with me and just call me nonsense, but the 4th game, I think you start the players that's probably going to be starting versus coming up when you can. Obviously, a couple sickness bugs and everything, you can't do anything about that, but everybody else, you want to be playing the way, set down a wee marker and a wee indicator of what you can do in your first league game of the season. And I genuinely thought that first half for Rangers was one of the poorest I've seen, and I'm taking the game versus Olympiacos into consideration, people, because that was poor. But even like Tavernier's first touch goes underneath him. Kramaric, who I'm a massive fan of, by the way, have been for numerous years, watching his career, especially at international level and everything like that. He ends up running down, but Tavernier does the good thing defensively, so he makes up for his mistake, gets in, uses his body, but then he tries to do like an outside of the flick pass. Maybe it's too cute, maybe it's too comfortable, maybe it's trying to overplay, and that's what's drilled into these players, but he ends up giving the ball back after already making up for his mistake, and Jack Butler, if you know, ends up making a fantastic save with his feet, or we would have been doing 1-0 in the opening couple minutes, and that wouldn't have flattened them at all, flattered them I should say, maybe flattened us if we're actually thinking it that way. But after 5-10 minutes I started to think to myself, right, we're starting to settle in, the shape's looking decent when we've got the ball. You're seeing wee patterns of play, especially with Dessers and Lammers showing what they could be capable of. Lammers for me is the standout of the pre-season. You know, Raskin started off like he was going to be the one that everybody was talking about, but Lammers well and truly wrestled that tie away from him and wrestled that tag away from him, and for me he's been the standout and the one for me that's looked really, really good. I don't know if you agree with me. If you can let me know down in the comments, who's the one player, now pre-season's over, who's the one player that stood out to me? For me, it has to be Big Lammers. And obviously I've been doing a couple of jokes in that online about him reminding me of Loudrop, and people need to realise when I say remind me, I didn't say he's as good or as he ever will be. I'm just saying the way he touches the ball and the way he glides and just the way he dribbles, the floppy hair helps, and so the scoring, he does that, all does help. But you just love watching the ball drop at his feet because it goes right away. The touch is great, but then he's got the skill and ability and just the drifting left and right. It's a real joy to watch, and for me, this pre-season, if you just want a quick quote because you're too busy the night and you don't want to watch any more of this car vlog, if you will, this entire pre-season could be summed up in 2 words: penalties and Lammers. That for me is our entire pre-season wrapped up, in my personal opinion. So for me, very excited about him being a Rangers fan again. I think he's going to be just linking up everything, and he tried his best today. I mean, some of these things he's done with Dessers, like the one where he's lifted right to the back post, Dessers has took a beautiful first touch, but it's great defending. That's just really unlucky, ladies and gentlemen. It was really good play, but with every Lammers good bit of play or every Dessers good touch or anything like that, you did have the ugly stuff, and obviously we did go behind 2-0 in the game, and the way we did were comical in nearly every way. And again, I'm not wanting to dig out the young boy Yefko, but I thought Balogun didn't cover himself in glory either here, by the way. It's kind of just a ball in behind the back line. Cantwell does really well to track back and do a kind of slide. Ridvan has to come in here and just absolutely solidify himself and absolutely nail the ball and just get rid of it, but it's meek, it's weak, it's half-hearted. The boy just keeps the ball with his feet and then tucks away back beyond Butland, who again stopped this for being 4-0 at half-time, because shortly after they made it 1-0 through the way we just discussed, there was another ball that came past Tavernier far too easily, just gets beat far too easily in the wing, comes down the near post, the boy gets a wee front post touch on it, but Butland's very big. That was a great save, and you're thinking to yourself, right, we're hanging in here, Rangers, are we actually going to respond and show what we've got in our locker? And apart from Lammers, his wee touches here or there, even the one where he slid tackled the boy in the halfway line, passed it through on the deck, by the way, to Big Dessers, who dragged the defender with him, cut inside, brilliantly showing his skill in the ball. But his shot was a P-roller. I've done one at Ibrox, big man. I get your feeling on that aspect. That hurts. I actually mentioned that. It was decent, but again, you can see there is something just starting to spark up there. Again, it's no a firework or it's no a massive display, but you're seeing wee bits and pieces. But I didn't see enough for the middle of the park. And again, that switch was devastating to us. And I don't understand why. Just the reaction to things as well. And that bothers me, and I know it's pre-season, but just watching us react so slowly to a switch or a throw-in or a quick-taking free kick, these are things that, you know, across the city they excel in, so I wish we would start getting any tune and maybe start playing to that tempo as well, if I'm being brutally honest. And we end up going 2-0 behind through... it's just almost painful to discuss, ladies and gentlemen. And again, the young lad is getting tore out and everything here, but for me there is one player that needs to be looked at, and that is Ridvan. The ball is down on the channel. Ridvan's got Cantwell's there. Now, as a fullback, you've got your man here and you've got another Rangers player right here, people. So you know you're covered. So you don't actually want to push him down the wing on his weaker foot. Everything happens the way it should go towards being in Ridvan's favour. This entire breakdown, if you look at it, because if he cuts inside, Cantwell's there, he's forcing him down in the wing. That's the design part of the defence. It all goes to plan. But Ridvan almost seems surprised that it goes to plan and he just doesn't react and block the cross. And then the cross itself, man, Yefko again doesn't react to it. He's caught ball watching. Tavernier stops playing football to point at Balogun, who's took a wee bit of a head knock, yes, but it's a game of football, lads. How many goals do we need to concede by switching off? Let's stay focused and stay artsy. And it is very frustrating as the boy gets the easiest tapping he will ever get in his entire life, people. And as we're going to have a couple people walking by, subscribe to the channel if you're actual new. That's just how I thought 2-0 down at half time, and the best thing, or the worst thing you could say being a Rangers fan, people, 2-0 down at half time was actually very, very flattening and flattering. Why do I keep saying flattening? Is it because we got flattened? Who knows? Answers in the comments. And the only thing I wanted to see for the second half, by the way, is something done at the left back position to help us defensively, because by goodness gracious, I've championed for Ridvan to get a shot, but he looked just as bad as Barisic. And trying to pick between Barisic and Ridvan right now, the way that they're actually playing, it's like trying to pick between the ugly sisters for Cinderella. People like, who's the hotter one? I don't know. They're both ugly defensively, and it was stressing me out. The only thing I would say is obviously Ridvan is a young laddie. I'm sure he's got a hell of a lot of football and improving to actually make. Barisic has had a lot of time and a lot of goodwill, so I think as bad as Ridvan did play the day, and trust me, he did play bad, I'm not just going to be a fanboy here and say he does obviously need more time and maybe a wee bit more thing behind him, because Barisic has had years of those types of game. Ridvan's had a couple, and for me, this was by far the worst he's ever looked defensively, and it was all over the shop. Didn't take just me for granted, or take my word for granted. Look what was happening 34 seconds in to the second half. We made one change at half time. Jacko comes in for young Yefko. The boy was lost, right? His first competitive start versus a very good side. The Kramariches, the Bebos, as I used to call them back in our FIFA streaming days, if anyone remembers that. These boys were just tearing them a new one. It's just too much for the young laddie. So I get the substitution, dropping Lunny back in. And I actually thought Lunny played better at centre-half than he did at centre-mid. And I thought Jacko just added a bit of urgency and a bit to bite. Even just the ugly fouls, or wee needless fouls here, stoking quick free kicks. The ugly stuff that maybe doesn't ever look great to anyone, but for me actually did make a difference. I thought he did change the game a little bit, but 34 seconds into the game, the exact same as the first goal, ball in behind Ridvan, and it takes a fantastic slide challenge from Balogun to stop us for being 3-0 down 34 seconds in to the restart. But ladies and gentlemen, if you follow me on social media or anything, what did I say after that? I says, can we just hurry up and get our penalty, because this is brutal. And Rangers went ahead and delivered, as that is how we ended up getting it back into this game and grabbing a foothold in this game. And I love the way that it actually happened, because Big Dessers, who again was getting slaughtered a lot for maybe not getting involved as much, but he was living on scraps again this afternoon. That's obviously something that's going to need to be worked on. But he makes us himself. He gets us back in the game himself. Runs, puts pressure on the centre-half, gets inside the box. Instead of just forcing a shot that doesn't favour him in the angle, using that skill, using that technique, cuts inside. Defender clumsy wee slide challenge, and that makes it our fourth penalty in 5 games, ladies and gentlemen. The season's not even started yet, and we are in prime form. And speaking of form, Tavernier, as bad as he played this afternoon, and by goodness gracious, he played bad. He left the game with a goal and an assist, and he put it top bin, unsavable. We're back in, and we end up getting ourselves level just a couple minutes later, as the momentum was clearly with us at this point. And I thought Dill added a lot as well, just that anticipation, the bite in the middle of the park as well. And I thought him and Jacko added something that we really needed, and that was just a bit of energy in the middle. I'm not taking digs at Raskin here, but I just didn't like Raskin and Lundstrom playing together, as I think Lundstrom doesn't react quickly enough to the press, or he's just not got that in his game. He's good with everything getting played in front of him, which is why I think he's very good at centre half, if I'm being honest with you. So I'm not taking any digs at Raskin there, but I did thought Dowell added a lot, and you can see that in the second goal as Balogun wins the ball. He hits it to Dill, Dill flicks it to Lammers, Lammers passes it back, Dill beats a man, puts out to Tav, Tav whips in the cross, and big Sam Lammers is there with the header and the goal that his performance not only deserved today, but his performance deserved versus Olympiacos in my opinion. And that's how the actual game finished. Regarding Danilo, by the way, he ended up coming into the game, getting some minutes alongside the likes of Roof, and even Sterling eventually came on. Just a wee quick thing, because I know this video is far too long and no one's going to be watching still at this point with it being a car vlog, but I was very impressed with Danilo's touch in the 90th minute to kill the ball down. Indeed, the ball came down with snow in it. He killed it on his feet. He played in Rabbi Matondo, who had a good shot that was very well saved by the goalie. But that was it. That was game, set and match, ladies and gentlemen. It did finish 2-2, and it's been a very disappointing pre-season, and maybe that Frankenstein's monster-esque type performance in Germany for the last wee pre-season games kind of summarises our entire pre-season. There has been some good parts, some clear rust, some absolute madness, and some horror show. And that's my thoughts and opinions on our pre-season. Again, I'm not hitting the panic button or anything yet. There is obviously still a lot of work to be done. You always know that when you add this amount of players in to a team, trying to get them adjusted. I'm still confident going forward, and obviously I'll make league prediction videos and all that in a couple of days. I need to spend the next 3 or 4 days looking at what every other team's done for those videos and everything like that. But that's how I feel about the pre-season. It was an ugly game of football, but I'm glad we bought ourselves and fought ourselves back into it. But the star man of the pre-season has been Sam Lammers, in my opinion, and the big disappointing, the big glorious weakness, Tavernier's been really poor as well. So Campbell's been disappointing, but he's getting asked to play a different role. But it's the left-back situation for me needs to be addressed. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. As always, let me know if you like these types of videos. If you never want to see them again, I never will, ladies and gentlemen. But until then, I'll be seeing you on 92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.